deliciously with Ara. Ngayon gagawa tayo ng MIYEOK soup. So MIYEOK soup or MIYEOKGUK, it's actually dried seaweeds, and we can buy this in Korean groceries. We normally eat this. It's called a birthday soup in Korea because actually the health benefits of MIYEOK is really great, especially for our blood. So nagpapalinis siya ng ating dugo. So we normally always have this on birthdays. First, we have to put this and soak it in water para medyo maging hindi na siya ma-dry. So I'm gonna open my MIYEOK. So when we buy these kinds of MIYEOK or dried seaweeds in Korean groceries, they come in like parang tuyo na form. Actually, this is really a lot once na inasoak natin siya sa water. So we're gonna be only needing 1/3 cup, which is around good for a family serving of 4. So I'm just gonna cut konti lang. So roughly this is around 1/2 cup once I press my fingers. This is really good for like a family serving. Sometimes nagkakaroon ng problems when you try to eat this and kasi medyo maalat-alat and crispy ng content, ginagawa niya ng snacks. You can cause into an accident kasi when it goes to in your inside your tummy, bigla siya dadami ng dadami. So always be careful not to eat the dried seaweeds. So here 1/2 cup of my dried seaweeds. I'm just gonna soak it in water. Siguro mga 10 to 15 minutes only. Habang medyo we can see na nag-loosen up na siya. So while I wait for my dried seaweed to medyo nag-loosen up, I'm gonna be preparing my beef and my onions. So here I've got some beef strips. These are around 200 grams. Of course, you can always use other alternative meats or also seafoods if you want. But of course, for birthdays, normally the traditional way of MIYEOK soup is really the beef broth. So here I got my beef and I'm gonna cut it a little smaller kasi medyo malaki yung aking nakuha. So whatever cut and whatever slices you want, you can just have it. Pang soup lang naman siya. So I'm just gonna thinly cut my beef. So now I have here my onions. I'm gonna be using just 1/2 of my white onion. So now after around 10 minutes, you can see na medyo nag-loosen up na yung ating seaweeds. Remember, kanina konti lang yung ginamit natin na 1/3 na dried. Now, as you can see, it became a bowl full of my seaweeds. Now, with my scissors, I'm gonna check kung meron mga malalaking dahon or seaweeds. And then, para medyo magiging maganda siya kainin mamaya, we just, thinly, randomly cut it off with our scissors. Wag masyadong maliliit. Just parang enough lang, like a bite size. Siguro like on a spoon, like this much kind of length. And after this, I think medyo okay na yung mga aking mga slices. We're gonna have this washed thoroughly and i-drain natin siya para maluto na yung ating seaweed soup. So, nandito na yung ating seaweeds na hinugasan ko na mabuti and I've already strained it. I'm gonna now turn on my fire kasi ready na siya maluto. So here, nakuha ko na yung ating kaldero pang sabaw and I'm gonna stir fry first my beef na kanina nahiwa na natin. I'm gonna be stir frying in sesame oil pero dahil napakababa ng kanyang heat resistance ng ating sesame oil, bilis-bilisan natin siya agad. So first, I'm gonna be adding off my beef, 1/2 cup. And agad, I'm gonna add 2 tablespoons of sesame oil. And this, my patis, I'm gonna add first 1 tablespoon of my patis on my beef. And as you can see, medyo nag-brownish ng konti yung ating beef. I'm gonna be now adding in my seaweeds. Na-stir fry natin siya ulit. So as you can see na medyo nag-fully coat up na yung ating beef tsaka ng ating seaweeds, I'm gonna be adding in here 1 tablespoon of minced garlic. Haluin ko lang siya ng haluin. And now we're gonna add in our water to boil the soup. These are around 1.3 liters. It really depends on you the amount of soup that you want. If you want it to medyo maraming sabaw, you can actually fill it up just to cover up my seaweeds. So for a good family of 4 servings, I think around 1.3 liters is good enough. So buhusan ko lang yung aking water. And then takpan natin hanggang makulo ang ating seaweed soup. So I've been boiling it for around 10 minutes and as you can see na medyo nag-soften na yung aking seaweeds, I'm gonna now add in my onions. I'm just gonna add in my onions kasi di ba yung onions, nagpapabigay siya ng parang extra sweetness sa ating soup. And ngayon, mag-season na tayo ng ating soup. So, I'm gonna be using first my patis. I love patis sa ating sabaw. So, around 1 tablespoon. Generous amount. And this toyo, I'm just gonna be needing around 1.5. So, 1. And then, pakukulan na natin siya ng more, siguro around 15 more minutes. The longer that you boil the soup, the better the taste becomes. And then, lalong lumalambot yung ating mga seaweeds. Normally, when we give birth sa mga sa mga nanay, the newly given birth moms, they give this one every meal kasi ganitong ka-nutritious value ng ating seaweed soup. And then, we're just gonna keep on boiling it. And then, mag-a-adjust tayo ng flavor niya, ng alat or ng level ng saltiness later na after na fully boiled na siya together with all the salt and all the saltiness that we have added together with my onions. So I'm gonna cover it siguro mga 15 more minutes. So now I'm gonna taste my soup. Tingnan natin kung tama na yung aking lasa. I think I should add a little bit of salt. So, siguro around 1/2 tablespoon ng ating iodized salt. When you adjust the taste of this, mamaya, just use only salt or patis. Huwag na tayo gumamit ng toyo because the soup will become very dark. And I'm just gonna add 1 more tablespoon of my toyo. Of my patis, I mean. Tikman natin ulit. And it's very good. Here it is, my MIYEOK soup. So, kuha tayo ng bowl of my MIYEOK soup. Normally, we always serve this the first meal we eat on our birthdays. Because madalas, when you give birth, di ba marami tayo na-lose na mga dugo, and MIYEOK supposedly gives us, cleans your blood, makes your blood really healthy. So this is really the significance of having it for a birthday soup. So we normally eat with like white rice, and this would be a perfect meal already for your birthdays. So let's try our MIYEOK soup na ginawa ko with my beef. First, I'm gonna get some soup. I always eat this every year. I ate this a lot when I gave birth to my children, but I never ako masasawa sa lasa ng ating seaweed soup. Ang sarap. Napakasarap. As always, try my recipe, deliciously with Ara. For sure, you love this. And it's also really good, especially in this time when you're being very health conscious. A perfect meal to help our family be safe and healthy.